there, welcome to my YouTube channel Since Nightingale. In this tutorial video, I'm going to be showing you how I created this design. I mean, you asked, why not give it to you? Alright, so first off, I placed my brown paper on the floor and took out 1 inch on the upper side and on the left side, which is the area I won't be working with. Then I proceeded to marking the back measurement. The back measurement is 14 inches divided by 2. That's 7 inches, half an inch sewing allowance, 7.5 inches. So I went further to mark the starting point to the bust point, or what I also call the over bust point. I'm going to be working with 6 inches, so that's 6 inches from that point to that point that I've marked, which is the shoulder to the bust point, which will give me 10 inches. So I went on to mark 4 inches. I mean, when taking my tape rule downwards now to get 4 inches. And that's what you can see. So I marked that part and called it my bust point. Then I went on to mark the under bust point. The under bust point, shoulder to under bust measurement, is 12.5 inches. So I went on to mark that on the paper, on the brown paper, 2.5 inches from that point that I've marked my 10 inches. So I went on to use my short ruler to connect the lines, right? And then I marked that part on that bust point. So after this, I went on to mark my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches divided by 2, 3.5 inches. And so I took my ruler to get that. Then I went on that bust and marked half an inch on the left side and 1.5 inches on the right side. Same thing upwards. I decided to flip my measurement this time. Rather than take 1 inch on the left and on the side, I took half an inch on this side and 1.5 inches on the other side, just so that I can try out a new technique. So I went on to take my curve ruler now and connected the dots from the under bust to the bust points, and I did on the other side too. And I went upwards as well to connect it from the over bust to nipple point. And this is what you can see. I used my marker to mark the area that I have used my pencil to. So let's go to the back to get the back measurement, or create the bodice for the back. Like I did for the front, I took out 1 inch up and on the side, the part I won't be working with. I went on to mark my shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement still remains the same, and also got my armhole measurement. The starting point I'll be working with for the back is the same as the front, 6 inches, right? So I went on to mark my armhole measurement and my bust measurement. Then I went on to also mark my nipple to nipple measurement, which is what I'll be using to create the back dart. The same thing applies for the front. The nipple to nipple measurement, 7 inches, and that is that. So I went on also to mark my half inch measurement. The half length measurement I'll be working with is 14 inches. The same thing I used for the front as well. So I went on to take half an inch on both sides of that line that I drew to get my dart measurement, and then I took my measuring tape to get my waist measurement for this design. The bust measurement I'll be working with is 34 inches. The waist measurement I'll be working with is 24 inches. Originally 26, but I'm snatching the waist to 24. And this is what this pattern that I did looks like after using my marker to do that. So I went on to place on the fabric and cut out the pattern. When cutting out, remember, like I always say, leave half an inch measurement so that you have enough volume to work with. So I've taken out that part. I'm also taking out the fabric for the back measurement. So when placing your fabric on the pattern, like I always say, cut out half an inch on all parts of the fabric so that by the time you join, you get your accurate measurement. So let's go to cut the skirt area. So I placed the fabric on the floor, cut out the front part of the skirt, flip the fabric over again to cut out the back part of the skirt, and then went to the machine to sew up the rope that I'll be using for the halter neck, and the rope and the patch that I'll be using to cover up the back of the corset. Remember, we're working with, or the style we're creating is an halter neck sweater neckline that has the structured organza on the fabric. So after doing this joining, I mean getting the rope for the halter neck and getting the back patch for covering up the corset at the back, I went on to flip this rope for the halter neck over and close out, or rather close up one part of each of the rope, right? And that's what I've done here. Then I went, or rather proceeded to joining the remaining parts of the fabric, the lining and then the front part. The lining will be sitting, or I'll be placing rather I'll be placing my regining boning on that part. It's going to be an invisible boning, so you don't know that I have put a boning when you look at the dress. So I'm going to be placing that regining boning on the lining. So I picked up my not the crinoline now. I picked up my regining boning and measured the area that I'll be working with, or the length that I'll be working with, and closed the edges with the paper tape. The reason why I'm closing the edges with the paper tape is so that when I sew on the fabric and when this dress is worn, it won't be piercing into the skin of the person who will be wearing this, or disturbing the person or moving. So there's a thin line, a very thin line on the regining boning, right? That's where you sew on, not on the fat area. When you sew on that, it makes it easy for you to sew on rather than sew on the much bigger area. There's a very thin line, which is what you follow when sewing this on your fabric, and that's what I've done in this video. Also, another thing to note while I was working on this was when the machine goes on the paper tape, the thread could start cutting, so you have to sew very gently. So I went on to join the front part, and now I'm placing the breast cup that I had bought on the part where it will sit in the bustier pattern. Remember, I cut a bustier pattern, right? So after placing it, I used my needle and thread to secure on the joining part of this. I mean, when stitching, make sure it doesn't show on the other side of the fabric. I stitched it to the wording that you can see in this fabric, and I'm going to be showing you what this looks like, I mean, after my stitching, for you to see how the bustier sits with all of this padding that I've done. I padded with the back up, and I padded also with the wording, and I mean, this is what it looks like inside, and this is what it looks like outwards. I'm going to flip this over as well for you to see what this looks like, right? I mean, the sweetheart cut, you can see the sweetheart cut already, and you can see this is our bustier cut. So I'm going to go back to the sewing machine now to join the halter neck rope. Remember, the shoulder measurement is 14 inches. I took out, rather placed the first part of this rope was on that bustier line, and also on the other part, which would at the end of the day give me my shoulder measurement. Where that rope stops on that part that you can see is 7 inches on the other side, and on the other side, which will at the end of the day give me 14 inches. So I went on to join the sides of the lining and also the sides of the main fabric. I'm going to be doing an inner closing, so you're not going to be seeing the extra flap inside. I'm joining everything I'm going to be doing is the inner closing. So because I've joined the halter neck rope now, I placed the lining and joined close the upper part of the fabric, and also because I'm not going to be using a zipper, it's going to be a corset, so I closed that part as well, closed the waist, and then decided to join the skirts, right? So I joined the fabric on the lining for the skirts and did it for the front part and the back part, and also now joined the skirts together. I mean, join the front part of the skirt after joining the lining, and the back part of the skirt after doing that, and this is what you can see. Afterwards, I went on to also fix the zipper for the skirt. The skirt is going to be having a zipper, while the upper body of this design is going to be having the corset rings, right? So after doing this, as you can see, I've fixed the zip. I'm now going to place the upper part of this fabric on the skirt part, and that's what I've done, and this is what you have. So I went on to my work table now to fix the corset rings. I used my scissors this time and not the soldering iron. I used my scissors to get the hole that I'll be working with, place the first ring, and then flip the fabric over into the machine to now ensure that the rope, or rather the hole in the fabric, goes into that first part, right? So I picked up the flat part of the metal, and then I placed on that, and then used pressed it downwards so that it goes into the gommet machine. So I'm putting that inside that part now, and I'm pressing gommet machine so that it secures the corset rings, and I'm going to be showing you what this looks like. So this is it. I'm going to be doing this across the fabric, and this is what you have on the model. So this is the first look, this is the first fitting for the model. This is what this alternate bustier looks like. So now the structure that you saw on that fabric or on the pattern at the beginning, this is how it's done. I worked with 2.5 inches, or rather 2.5 yards of organza fabric. I split the 2.5 organza fabric into two parts, right? And then I went to the machine and sewed, flipped it over and then sewed, and you can see the sewing line, right? I sewed the first line, I sewed the second line as well. After turning this over, I sewed that. Then I went again, picked the second one and sewed that. So I'm going to continue sewing that straight line, when folded into two, across till I've exhausted the fabric. You can see the way I'm showing you with my hand. That's how I'm going to be sewing it on the sewing machine, right? So I'm going to go back to the machine now and continue sewing this till I've covered the entire part of this fabric that I worked with. I splitted this into two because I'm going to be working the structure across the fabric in two parts. So this is the volume that you can see. This is the organza. I've exhausted the entire portion of the fabric on the organza. So I'm going to now be placing this on the model to create the pattern that I want to create on this, or the structure that I want to create on the main fabric. So I'm trying to do this on the model. I tried different patterns and eventually came up with this, and this is the final look of this. Is this not lovely? I love the mix of colors. Working with the main color, the primary colors, or rather the primary or the basic color, brown, coffee brown, and the other shade of brown, and then this other shade that looks like oyster color. This is what this turned out to look like. You have the sweetheart alternate cut, and then you have the structure going across the main dress. I love this look. It's simple yet chic and sophisticated. I hope you were able to learn one or two things from this pattern. Will you try it out? Let me know in the comment section. Was it easy for you to catch on? Let me also know in the comment section. If you have other techniques as to how this can be done, I'll also love to read from you in the comment section. Do not forget to also watch other tutorial videos on my channel, like how to cut a bustier pattern, how to cut a corset pattern. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time for you to click that subscribe button, and also share it to other platforms. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. From me to you, it's bye bye. Keep creating magic.